Hi, I'm Barbara Davis Levine,
I'm Steve Levine.
and we're with Small Business Day Magazine Talk Show and Events and Coaching and Connections. And today we have our monthly Titans of Commerce.
And this is a very different Lunch and Learn where we invite a multi-million dollar or multi-billion dollar business owner to be front of the room and not just somebody on the speaking circuit. It's a problem-solving luncheon here at Phil and Derek's restaurant in Houston, 1701 Webster. And we have usually someone who has been on the cover of our magazine, Small Biz Today, that owns a multi-million or multi-billion dollar business, here to tell their story, their words of advice, and to answer any questions that the attendees have.
You know, we have spent time, 30 minutes of questions and answers, and it's always a wonderful speaker. And today we have Dr. Saam Zarrabi with Rodeo Dental.
And they've been on the cover of our magazine, I think about 2 years ago, and they're amazing young men. I consider them a lot younger than I am, and they have a terrific business model and mission statement. And just they were here to mentor and coach our attendees at our luncheon today. He and his two partners have a phenomenal story. They have an incredible business model and incredible staff.
But let me say something,
Go
because
ahead.
I had the
Your turn.
pleasure of interviewing the three partners, and that's this is of course Dr. Saam Zarrabi, and then his partners Dr. Yahya Mansour, and the
I'm glad you pronounced it.
and Dr. Brian Dagoni, and each one has their own specialties. But it's a real pleasure to not only know them, to be a client, to be able to introduce. And here is Dr. Saam Zarrabi.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Get a
Love
picture,
you.
video real quick together. And I want you to know Dr. Saam came all the way from Dallas just to do our luncheon, flying back today.
Yes.
So that says something special.
No, I'm happy to do it. Thank you. Thank you. You know, when Steve and Barbara first mentioned this to me, I was happy to do it. I told them I'll fly down if they need me to. These two are so committed to giving back, as you all know. And so a lot of that aligns with what we do. And when they talked to me about doing a lunch like this, I thought, wow, that's great. I wish more business leaders, entrepreneurs were doing these kinds of events, because this is where the innovation and new ideas and development really come from, the genesis of stuff like this. So happy to share our story with you all. I'd like to take you through our journey and talk a little bit about how we got to who we are and why we do what we do. So in order to do that, let me take you all back. I grew up around dentistry my whole life. My dad's a dentist. Both my partners, their parents and grandparents in dentistry. So we come from a rich tradition of dentistry. But thrown into that fire in that summer, my job in SoCal wasn't really there. My dad didn't have a spot. I wasn't going to move back in with my parents. I'd worked too hard to do that, so that wasn't happening. And so my old roommate from college said, hey, why don't you come out to Dallas-Fort Worth? There's some jobs out here. I said, great, let me check it out. We'll go for a little bit, and then we'll come back when the dust settles. Following the 4th of July, 3 weeks after I graduated in that summer, I had my first job. I'm driving to work, I'm fired up and excited about what I'm gonna see, get to my first practice, and let's just say when I got there, it wasn't quite what I expected it to be. The outside of the building was run down. I mean, it's still there today, but it's not a dental office anymore, and I'll tell you why. But it was beaten up, it was nasty on the outside, it was even worse on the inside. There was cockroaches on the ground, the equipment was run down. It was bad. They threw me in from day one. I was the doc, I was the office manager, I was the assistant. I mean, it was complete chaos. You would take your foot off of the pedal, in dentistry we call it the rheostat, and the handpiece would keep going. I don't know if you guys know this, but those little things go like the speed of a high-speed race car. I mean, those engines, so I mean, if they don't work, I mean, you can cut your teeth. I mean, it's dangerous. The breaking point for me was a couple weeks into it, I was working and it was raining, and got my patient's mouth open and stuff's hitting me from the ceiling, and my patient, tar was literally falling and hitting me and the patient, and I was like, dude, I'm out of here. Keep the check, I'm gone. And so now I was out of a job. And so my partner was starting a practice at that time, and I said, hey, if this is what's in this part of the community that they can offer, I know we can do better. I know I can take some ideas of growing around my dad's practice. If we just focus on service and let's come up with some great ideas on delivering high-end care, we can do a better job. So first practice we built in that November of 2008, we launched, we learned some stuff along the way that first year. We wanted to create the group practice, so integrate all the specialties. Our orthodontic partner, that would be something different by combining and bringing together all the specialties under one roof, and really focus on building something beautiful. Fast forward a year, we built our first location, Rodeo Dental. It was by the old famous stockyards in Fort Worth, and so we always loved that area. It kind of reminded me of Frontierland and Disneyland. And so we built a beautiful lobby. We had all the specialties under one roof. We delivered high-end service, and we were a hit from day one. And so fast forward a year, other docs wanted to join. We opened our next location. We go to South Texas. We opened 4 that year. We're on the road a lot, my wife and I, my partners, and we were really moving fast. Today, as we stand, we have 25 locations across the state. We're in Houston, DFW, South Texas, and growing. We have about 600 plus employees, 120 doctors across all the specialties, and thank you. Yep. And one of the famous prides of the practice is we have over 50,000 5-star Google and Facebook reviews, which is more than any other dental group in the country. I can absolutely verify that. And so it's a testament to our hard work. And everything we do, I know Steve mentioned our mission statement. Our mission statement is to give every family the key to access to high-end dental care. And it's really important because it ties back to that first story of my experience in that first practice. We felt like no matter what the situation was, where anybody came from, financial, demographic, anywhere we built a practice, we wanted to give that individual and that family high-end dental care. And so if you come into any of our practices, which I encourage all of you to do so, you'll see certain artifacts. You'll see our mission statement. It's on a beautiful poster with, a key on it, and there's 5 ribbons on that key. And each one of those ribbons represents something that's important to the practice: patient experience, having a one-stop shop with all the specialties, having a great culture. Education is huge. We're really focused on educating the community, creating awareness. And so we combine all those things, and we also have a set of 9 core values. And we live and we breathe and we do everything based on those core values. A couple of my favorite ones I'll walk you through is Smile DNA. We coined that term. We want to have team members on the team that have Smile DNA. Cole is one of them. There you go. And so we hire on it, we fire on it. Okay, it's really important because people in the practices, we're working a lot. We spend more time in the practices than sometimes with our own family members. And so we want to work around positive people. And so, maybe sometimes we don't have good days and bad days, but the important thing is that we have a reflection, we're helping each other out. And so Smile DNA lives inside our practices. Patient experience sets us apart. That's a big one. We're always focused on how do we improve the patient experience. If you walk into any of our practices, you'll see big, beautiful lobby designs. We invest a lot into the lobby experience. Every new patient gets a tour of the practice. So we want to sort of take the guard down of traditionally what you hear in dentistry. You heard what Barbara said. She said, who likes going to the dentist? Everybody hates it. I mean, before they even meet me, my whole life, my dad and I, it's like, oh, I hate the dentist. Well, wait a second. How do you know? We haven't even said hello yet. But we want to lower that guard because historically, if you look at dentistry, the last 50 years, it's just had a bad name. You've got, Steve Martin and Little Shop of Horrors and anything in the media. I mean, everybody's just given dentistry sort of a bad name. And so we want to take that guard down. And so we invite the patients in. We give them a tour of the practice. They meet the team. And we really want to make it special for them. And so we have 3 concepts as part of the patient system of what we call the perfect appointment. and 3 aspects to it. It's called Bring It. Everybody say Bring It.
Bring it.
That's right. Every day we bring it. We have our morning huddles, and there's training attached to that, how we introduce ourselves to the patients. The second part is Boost It. Everybody say Boost It.
Boost it.
All right. So that's about really building that emotional connection and really connecting with the patients. It's not just about the clinical treatment. There's training attached to how we introduce the doctor to the patient. There's a handoff from the front office to the doctor and the team. The treatment coordinator, when they're working around things like financial, that's a friction point that we want to really work on and make sure it's handled with kid gloves. And then the last part, what we call Bell Yeah, epic send-off. So if you ever walk into one of the practices, like our morning huddle this morning, we've got these crazy cowbells that we shake, and we have a lot of fun with it. But the epic send-off is about how do we end the appointment. Historically, even myself, I deal with this with my kids. I go to the pediatrician, and it's like, you know, you get a card, and you're like, all right, see you later, bye. And you're kind of like, what even just happened, you know? And so we wanted to change that dynamic. And so when we end an appointment, that's where you'll get surprised with like a birthday cake, or, you know, we have what we call these smile stations. And so the patients will set up. It's similar to this. You'll have a picture and a social media moment. And so we're really creating moments that are experiences that the patients remember and they tell their friends about and create some positivity. So these are things that we focus on. We didn't start this way. We've sort of worked on the systems over the last 10 years. And I'll be the first to say we're always improving. We're always striving to get better. As a team, we're always learning and studying. You know, things that have happened over the last 10 years as we've grown and scaled. We've incorporated a lot in IT and technology. That was a big investment for us that I think has helped. We feel like we're one of the big innovators in dentistry around healthcare, IT, and software. We have a team that just writes software that's attached to improving the patient experience. So one of the takeaways I would say is, as a business owner and entrepreneur, you can never invest enough into your own business and practice, and the more you do, it always returns tenfold when you do things like that. So I want to make sure I give you guys a chance to ask some questions and anything around culture, things like that that I can talk to. I'm happy to. And I'd also like to learn from all of you as well. So that is our story. Thank you.
And thank you for attending our September Titans of Commerce Luncheon with Dr. Saam Zarrabi. We will continue to have this luncheon at Phil and Derek's restaurant in Houston, 1701 Webster Street, offering a multi-million-dollar, multi-billion-dollar entrepreneur in front of the room to mentor and coach you. So we'll have another one soon.
Thank you.